This is how we're going to do it. We're just going to get into it. My name is Tamiko, and you have just tuned in to my very first episode of my podcast, It's a Thing. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I said it was my very first episode. That is a lie. I have been at this thing for about a year. I've had trial run after trial run after trial run, and I'm ready. And so, it was important that, obviously your first episode, what are you going to name it? You got to kind of come out, hit the ground running, go start with a bang. But the word I just said, start, was really important and it resonated with me. And so this first episode is starting. It's a thing. Hey guys, it's Tamiko, and welcome to It's a Thing. What is It's a Thing? I actually looked it up because this name came to me a while ago. I hear it all the time. We all say it all the time. But what does It's a Thing mean? And I think like the Oxford Dictionary, the Oxford Dictionary means when someone says it's a thing, it means that something in life or something exists, something has relevance, something is genuine, something is important, something is substantial. And so a lot of the things, everything that we will talk about and I hope to explore and get into during this journey of my podcast is about those things that are substantial, that exist, that are real for both me and what I hope are real for you. So today we are talking about starting and how starting is a thing. Whether you are starting over, whether you are starting anew, whether you are starting again, starting fresh, or just starting. Starting is a thing. And that's what's brought me here to my podcast. This thing has been a baby in my mind. I know everyone has a podcast. Everybody probably wants a podcast, which I think there's something to that. We'll get into that. But for me, it was taking what I felt God had placed in me and placed in my heart and just starting it, just doing it. Things don't have to be perfect. I don't have to have it all figured out. I don't have to have the blueprint. I just had to take that act of faith to put one step in front of the other and just start. Quotes and memes kind of rule my world lately. Scripture rules my world, absolutely. Scripture in the Bible. But I thought it'd be fun with every episode that I do to either start off or present scripture, quote, a meme, whatever resonates. So I found one that really hit home with me when it comes to starting. And it's a quote by Ijoma Umebinyu. And it is, start now, start where you are, start with fear, start with pain, start with doubt, start with your hands shaking, start with your voice trembling, but start and don't stop. Start now, start where you are, start with fear, start with pain, start with doubt, start with your hands shaking, start with voice trembling, but start and don't stop. Start where you are with what you have, just start. I think maybe a year ago, I was going to name this podcast Just Start because, again, it really, for me, in my life and just where I am, it was a matter of taking all that's within me, taking all these ideas, taking all my capabilities, taking all my skills, and just doing it, right? Just going. I was talking to someone about it and talking about this podcast, and I just, the fear and the doubt and all the things, there it is, all the things, come in your mind, but sometimes you just got to go, right? And I remember my friend saying, just go, 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 go. And that's kind of that's what I'm doing. I'm going. I'm excited. I'm nervous, but I'm ready. So I think a big question for me that it took me a while to get to, but it seems like such an obvious answer is what makes you just start? Like, what makes me just start? What would make you just start? And the answer that came to me right away was I was just ready, right? The different paths that I've taken, the different opportunities that I've had, the different experiences that I've had. I can say the things that I've done in my former life, like when I was younger. I'm 46. Oh my gosh, I'm 46 years young. But when I was, all the opportunities that I had when I was younger, um, that fear, I think, didn't exist like it does now for me. Meaning, and sometimes that fear shows up in like hesitation, or when you have lived more life, you understand that there are more consequences, right? You understand that there are more risks. You understand that it takes more things to make something come to fruition. And so with that, you just maybe become a little bit more cautious. And when you're younger, you kind of throw care to the wind. And oh yeah, I wouldn't, like when I competed for Miss California USA, I won't say that I just just decided I was going to do it, but I kind of did. I mean, it took me some time. I remember I worked for the Recording Academy, which is, most folks would know it as the Grammy Awards. But I worked behind the scenes in the office. And I'd done that for about 2.5 years. I was in my 20s, mid 20s. My dad and I have a joke. I called it my quarter life crisis, which is a thing. You have your midlife crisis. Your quarter life crisis is when you are in your 20s, you're coming out of college or your formal education, you dibble and dabble a little bit, and it's kind of like that now what phase. That is a quarter life crisis. I had one. And in that, I graduated college. I was an elementary school teacher. Um, I worked in the entertainment industry kind of like in front of the camera and behind the scenes. And I just wanted something. I'd come off of there's that. I'd come off an awful breakup and recovered. um, and I was just ready for something else. And I just remember sitting at my computer, like, what is it that I've always wanted to do that I have not done yet? And now that I'm saying it, why don't I think about that now? Like, what is it? Like, there's another quote. I should probably say this for another episode, but there's another quote that I love, and it says, "What would you attempt to do if you knew you could not fail?" And so, flashback to 20 something years ago, I was sitting at my desk at my office at work, thinking, like, what is it, Tamiko, that you've always wanted to do that you haven't done yet or that you'd like to try? And I remember watching beauty pageants as a little girl with my grandma, my Nana, lying in her big bed with the pink comforter. I mean, her bed was probably, now I'm rambling, her bed was probably like a king size bed, but that bed felt so massive and comforting. But that was our thing together is we had a lot of things, but we would sit and watch the Miss USA and Miss USA beauty pageants. And so I was like, you know what? God, I've always loved that. I've always wanted to do it. I'm going to look into that. One thing led to another. I took the leap of faith, right? I did the work. I was prepared. I had the support of my family and my friends. I believed in myself. I even took in all the doubt and the worry. I prayed. And long story short, my first attempt, I won the title. I won the pageant and I became Miss California USA. And so I think it's so funny, like remembering that. And like, I've told the story a gazillion times before, but just even saying it now, it's just a reminder of sometimes when you just like take the step, right? You can't worry about what could go wrong because something's going to go wrong. Something always goes wrong, or what maybe didn't work out as ideal. But with that, like, what could go right? Right? What could you learn after taking that step? And so just starting and being ready. So that's what I was talking about. And so I think fast forward 5 gazillion years later, because that's how it feels like, being a 46-year-old woman and married for 15 years, 3 beautiful children, lived another chapter of my life. I wanted to start again, right? I wanted to just start. And I would say, like, I wanted to just start. And maybe if I think about it, not really knowing what I wanted to just start at. But I knew I was ready, meaning not fully equipped, but mentally ready for what was next, mentally ready for the next chapter, mentally ready to see what else God had in store for me. And even that was not just like 20 years ago when I was, an assistant at the Recording Academy at the Grammy Awards and kind of like, what do I want to do? And it just came to me. This did not come to me. Like, I can say the readiness, that mental, like, knowing it was time, still there was like a journey that brought me all the way up to today. And I would say really, like, every step takes us in a direction towards where we are. But like, this has been like a long time coming, and sometimes not even knowing where it was leading me. I think you just have to have that willingness, and you just have to have that openness to the universe and to God, and that surrender, and just saying, I don't know how this is going to look. I don't know where you're going to lead me, where this is going to take me, but I know that I'm ready. And then when you have that readiness and willingness, then you take the steps to get to where you think you're going or where you want to go. So I did just that. I started. I took the step. I took the leap of faith. I did the work. That's important, right? You got to do the work and prepare and just work with what you got and work with where you are. And let God and the universe do the rest. So here we go. Here we go with It's a Thing. Find this podcast on all your podcast platforms. Subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.
This podcast is powered by The Plug.